Here's the thing. Hat 37. And this episode of Here's the Thing is brought to you by Seltzer Water, which is brought to you by my SodaStream, which is a whole other story altogether. You have to remind me to tell you about the ridiculous SodaStream saga involving. I would
like to know if you can actually get CO2 cartridges, because I haven't been able to for a year since
that's what I'm talking
COVID
about.
crap. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, I was able to get, okay, here's the SodaStream saga. I drink carbonated water with a couple of drops of lemon juice. I don't use any of the syrups.
Yeah.
And coffee. That's about the only two things that I ever drink. So I discovered, after years of searching the galaxy for the perfect seltzer water or soda water that has just the right amount of fizz, no sweetness, no fake flavors or anything like that. And that I don't, you have LaCroix and you got all that. And first of all, Perrier does not have enough fizz. And that's not.
I agree. I don't like it either.
Well, it's mineral water. It's not seltzer.
You're right.
So it's a totally different thing. LaCroix puts out a good product, except the problem with LaCroix is that it only comes in cans. And I put this on my nightstand at night, and a can will go flat, of course. So these are all of my heavily dramatic problems that I have to deal with in my life. But anyway, so I did find actually the old Piggly Wiggly by our house, 15 years ago or so, actually carried a brand called Vintage Seltzer. And it was black cherry flavored, but I didn't mind it because it was very light and it was very carbonated and I loved it and all that. And all of a sudden Piggly Wiggly went out of business, or they sold, or whatever happened. And so our pig became a food line and they didn't have it. And the only other place I ever found it was the 6 months or so I spent working in New Jersey, because I think it's bottled up there. But anyway, So my vintage seltzer disappeared. And so for years I wandered in the desert of seltzer water. I just couldn't find the best kind. And then I saw an ad for SodaStream and I thought to myself,
knew that was coming.
You don't have to use the flavor things. They just use the CO2 and it carbonates your water, and put a couple of drops of lemon juice in there and you're good to go. And I thought, well, this is fantastic. So I bought one, and I've had my SodaStream for probably 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah. Wow. That's longer than I've had mine.
I've upgraded a couple of times, but, and we've always gotten my CO2 canisters from Bed Bath & Beyond, because they have, I think most places do, but it's the most convenient and they always have them.
Yeah.
And
I always got mine at Target because my BBY is way down on Barrett Parkway and I'm not messing with that.
Oh God, I wouldn't set foot on Barrett Parkway ever if my life depended on it. But
exactly.
Our Target doesn't do quite as good their price isn't as good on the exchange. When I take it back to Bed Bath & Beyond, it's $15 for the exchange.
It's 15 for me too, because I have the Target card and you get a discount.
5%, I think.
Yeah. So it comes out to like $15.49, something like that.
This is not an ad for Target or Bed Bath & Beyond. This is just tangential. Anyway, although if you'd like to sponsor the show, we'd be happy to have you. So Bed Bath & Beyond. And when we were moving, I usually get 2 at a time. And when we were moving, there was a crossover, and I had just run out of my last one, and neither one of us had time to go do anything about it. And we moved into our new place, and Bed Bath & Beyond is about a mile away from here. And I went down there, and there's a big display rack with all the SodaStream stuff that has the CO2 canisters on it that usually has about 100 CO2 canisters on it, and it's usually full. And I walk in one day, this was back in late August, at the end of August, and I walked in and there was 0.0 CO2 canisters on, and I looked around like, what's going on? What? Huh? What? Huh? And I must have looked like a sad, wet puppy. And I walked up to the customer service counter with my 2 empty exchange bottles. And I said, you guys got some in the back that you haven't put out yet? And she goes, no, we can't even get them. And I went, God almighty.
And please tell me what this has to do with COVID, because that's what they told me.
I know. So COVID. Yeah. Why can't you get them? COVID. Why does your face itch? COVID. Why did my mortgage go up? COVID. Why is my teenager an asshole? COVID.
Why does my deodorant no longer work?
Yeah. So I walked out of the store very, very sad, and not knowing what else to do. I called my wife because I didn't know where else had them. She discovered them one day. Because Bed Bath & Beyond is also right next to her office. So that's why we always got them from there. And so I called her. I was like, honey, they don't have them. I took a picture of her. I was like, look at this. What the fuck, over? And so I called her up and I was like, where else around here has them? And I went to Bed Bath & Beyond first. And from there, I went to 2 Krogers, a Target, 2 Walmarts, and actually the 1 Walmart. And I was and where else? Publix, 2 Publix, and somewhere else. And then the last place, our other Walmart, is about 20 minutes down the road. And for you, that would be a block and a half. For us, it's about 10 miles. And so I called my wife and I said, or I messaged her. I was still sitting in the parking lot and I messaged her. I said, can you please call Hardyville Walmart and see if they have these things? And she's like, I'm working, do it yourself. Here's the number. And so I take off down the road. I use my little hands-free thing and called them, and I get the Walmart message. And here's where we get to grand stupidity. Now, I will preface this by saying that we're talking about Walmart. We're not talking about Gert and Sam's Sundries and Five and Dime. We're talking about the biggest retailer on the planet. Okay. And with more resources than just about anybody that you can possibly ever think of. So anyway, I call and I get their little message that says, for X, press 1, for this, press 2, for this department, blah, 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 blah. And at the very end of the message, because what I was trying to do, well, first of all, I was trying to call ahead because that's just what I do. I don't want to make a 20-minute trip when I don't have to. The other thing is COVID. I don't want to go in Walmart if I don't have to, right? So at the very end of their message, it said, due to high demand because of COVID-19, our associates will be unable to tell you whether certain products are available or not. Thank you. You need to come to the store. And I was like, what are you talking about? So because toilet paper and paper towels and cleaning products and apparently SodaStream refill canisters and all these things are in high demand, you can't have your staff can't spend all day answering questions about whether they're in. So what you're going to do, because COVID, is you're not going to bother to answer my question on the phone. You're going to make me actually have to walk into Walmart and stand in front of someone and ask if you have this product, which you probably don't. Instead, Walmart, this is definitely not a commercial for Walmart. Instead, what you should do, because you have all the resources in the universe, is put together, I don't know, let's say 6 employees and pay them whatever you need to pay them. Pay them $15 an hour or whatever in the hell it is that's a thing, and you educate them. And all they do, all these 6 people do, or whatever the number is you choose, is they have a list an active inventory list on their iPad or whatever in front of them that tells them what's in stock and what isn't. And they answer the goddamn phone and tell people whether or not something's in stock, so they don't have to drive to the store and stand in front of people with COVID.
They could actually do that from home.
Yeah.
I mean, so laptop, doodly-doo, Yes, it's in stock. No, it isn't. It is in stock at this store, but not at that one. Is that close to you? Boom.
So I thought of that on my way out. Actually, I didn't go all the way out there. I was like, fuck you. I'm not going out there. I'll just drink regular water. But anyway, yeah, I thought about that. And I was like, if I thought of that, certainly somebody else has thought of that. They just don't feel like doing it or whatever. So they're just telling, we're trying to flatten the curve and we have crushed an entire global economy because of COVID, but we're just not going to bother with telling you whether we got shit or not. So come on down here and breathe other people's air. So anyway, I spent the next, mid-October. I spent the next three weeks to a month, almost every day, driving to Bed Bath & Beyond and Target and Publix and Kroger, either one or a combination of all those, almost every day. And it was 3 weeks or a month before I finally went in to Bed Bath & Beyond on that fateful day, and I had no hope at all. I was just walking in there, going through the motions. And on that rack that I told you usually holds about 100 canisters and it was empty for a month, there were 6.
Wow. Did you get all of them?
Well, they limit you to 2. Thank God, because I never would have gotten any. So I got my 2 and I danced, that dance that Snoopy does when he's happy. I did the Snoopy dance up to the counter and the Snoopy dance out to my car. And I was so happy. I got in my car and I called my wife and said, they got it. Hallelujah. So yeah, what's up with that? That was, you still can't get them?
Okay, so I had a similar story where I went into Target, just fingers crossed, and it was months after they had been out, and they happened to have 1. And I had 3 that I went in to exchange because I usually try to keep 3 on hand because I go through it a lot. That's my drug of choice as well. I love me some club soda. So brought them in and they wouldn't take the exchange. They just gave me the full canister for the price of an exchange, but they said they couldn't take the tanks back. Now that baffled me as well. So now I've got 4 empty containers, which is great because when this is all over and I can go back and actually get it. So in the meantime, I've been going to Kroger and getting the Kroger brand club soda because it's 99 cents for a 2-liter or 69 cents for the half, whatever, which is great because that's what I'll finish in a sitting. And that's what I've been doing, but it's a pain in the ass because I have to go to the store to get it rather than having something that's going to last me a month.
Yeah. The only thing I can speculate is that, when the toilet paper thing happened, you understand the whole cleaning supply panic because people shop just all you got to do is look at hurricane season around here when dumbasses go out and buy milk and bread and.
No, that snow is milk and bread.
It's the same thing here during hurricanes.
Okay.
Yeah. You understand the rush on cleaning supplies, but the whole toilet paper thing really knocked me for a loop. And I just can't imagine that a commodity, a product, I should say, that is so fundamental to the advancement of humanity was that they were caught so off guard that they couldn't get it on the shelves. I didn't see a roll of toilet paper around here in any store for probably a month and a half.
Same. It may have been longer than that here. And fortunately, right before this whole thing went down, I had just gone to Costco. So I had, that massive supply. And so we were good.
Yeah. And my mom lives down the road and we have a Sam's here. Costco's down in Savannah, but so she had just gone the same thing. She had just gone to Sam's and we had just, gone shopping. So we were okay. And then until you get to a point of where you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see another roll of toilet paper again. So I'm going to start making contingencies. I went to Sam's and bought a 5,000 pack of Bev naps, like the little napkins you use on cocktails. Mm-hmm. And that was in geez, June. And I still got about 3,000 of them. So I could have a giant party or open my own bar. But anyway, so you understand that kind of thing, I suppose. I don't know why it took them so long to get that back online, but I guess the only thing I can speculate about the SodaStream thing is that it's entirely possible that I just can't imagine. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm trying to say that maybe, who knows, maybe they had an outbreak of positives on their production line or something like that, but they can't just have a limited number of places where they just fill CO2 canisters. That's got to be something that's outsourced. So I have no idea why that happened, unless also people just lost their minds, because I don't understand why, the run on cleaning supplies and hand soap and what, it's like, oh, so now you people decided to clean things and wash your hands? Right. What the fuck is that?